Week 5, the NFL starts off in London back-to-back weeks. They were treated to a decent game last week. It wasn't a fireworks show, but it also wasn't what we saw last night. That being the Packers and the Giants, both at 3-1. Obvious different in quarterback play. Aaron Rodgers leading the way, 935 yards, 6 touchdowns for the Packers. Dan Jones has got a lot more done with his feet. Saquon Barkley is the best player in this game. He is probably comeback player of the year, and he has been an absolute tank so far. But going over across the pond to London, Giants, Packers, who do you got?
I got the Packers. Pretty simple for me. Their defense has still been rolling, even with the loss of one of the Smith brothers. And Jair Alexander loses his injury designation and will play. Bakhtiari also loses his injury designation and will play. I got the Packers. Not really close, but not really far either. I'm going to call like an 8-point game.
You see my smirk?
Yeah. You're going to call an upset?
Calling an upset, baby. I got the Giants. Giants going to 4-1. I don't want to have to hear it from Tyrell or from my grocery manager, Joey, about how the Giants are now 4-1 and just beat the Packers. But I'm very down on the Packers. Everybody's saying, oh, they're a top 5 team now. I don't even think they're a top 10 team now. The offense is weak. They have some injuries on the defensive side of things now. Aaron Rodgers he doesn't trust young receivers. If Dubs, whatever his name is, drops one pass, he's not going to look at it for the rest of the game. If Watkins drops pass, he's not looking for the rest of the game. Lazard, Cobb, both limited in terms of their talents. With the Giants, it's not pretty. It's not what you expect to win long term, but it's working for now. Didn't play the best of teams. I get it. But I think it could work and continue to work here against the Packers. So I have the Giants taking that one. We already went over the Dolphins-Jets game. Next 1 o'clock game, the Steelers and the Bills. I think that's the biggest spread so far, any game so far this season, with the Bills being 14-point favorite at home. There's a reason. I got Bills.
Bills pretty easily.
Yeah, it's just,
I actually think that they more than cover.
How many interceptions does Pickett throw? How many picks does Pickett throw?
Picks. I'm gonna go ahead and say 3 and 2 fumbles.
I'm gonna be generous though. I'm gonna say only 2 picks, but definitely taking the Bills there. Chargers rolling into Cleveland to take on the Browns. Both teams at 2-2. Both teams 1-1 away and at home. What do you got in this matchup?
I mean, that's not even a question for me. I got the Chargers. I got the Chargers. Brissett is starting to look like his old self again. As long as he gets the ball to Amari Cooper, though, I'm perfectly fine with him.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
But Justin Herbert will light this defense up. Just kidding. He has Greedy Williams. Browns do have Greedy Williams coming back. But, the Chargers should have Keenan Allen back this week. And I think that'll play a significant role in this offense. They're going to have a lot more options. Eckler's doing really well so far. I think it'll be a somewhat close game just because of the defense of the Browns. But I just don't think the Browns offense is going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going with the Chargers. We saw Eckler finally bust out last week with 3 touchdowns. Herbert is getting over that rib injury. Mike Williams had himself a good game last week. Do we know if Baldy's getting back, if Keenan Allen's coming back yet or not?
I'm not 100% sure, but I do think he is coming back from his hamstring injury. I'm not 100% sure, though. It's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, either way, though, I'm taking the Chargers.
That Chargers defense is really good. I mean, they are going to be missing Joey Bosa.
Yeah, he's been missing for a long time.
So is Rashawn Slater going to be missing?
Well, he's the rest of the season.
Oh, is it the season?
Yeah, it's the rest of the season. He's
I did not.
But even that being said, I still got the Chargers in that matchup. Rolling over into Minnesota as the Bears strumble. Is that a word? Into town to take on the Vikings. Bears falling last week.
2-2.
Yeah, because they just ugly them. They beat the 49ers.
But okay, that was
Trey Lance is not a good quarterback for that team, which is something I'm sure I'll talk about eventually, probably next week. But the Bears are 2-2. You know, there's that. But the Vikings, a team that I'm very high on, I think are a top 10 team. I'm going Vikings.
I'm going Vikings pretty easily. The Bears defense is decent. Offense is absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
Vikings pretty easily.
Vikings at home, they're taking the dub. The battle of the 1-3 teams, and both are 1-3 in very different ways. The Lions and the Patriots. We have the Lions who literally have the best offense and the worst defense. And then there's the Patriots, who are just
have a decent
they're
defense and
playing
a
football.
horrible offense.
They're playing football, like they're just out there. But the Patriots are currently favored at -3, which that basically means they're even because if you flip that to away, it'd be -3 for the Lions. I'm gonna put this in your court first because I don't feel good either way. So who are you gonna take?
I have the Lions pretty easily, actually. Um, just their offense is so explosive. They should be getting back Amon-Ra. He should be practicing today. We haven't gotten the injury report on that yet, but he was supposed to be back today. Um, they still are without Swift for this week. But that offense is just so explosive regardless. Uh, their offense, the Patriots offense is just too abysmal to even try to keep
It
up.
is, but I can see
And you're starting Bailey Zappi.
I can see Belichick taking advantage of a team that is so wildly inconsistent. I'm in our minds, I'm gonna call an upset. I'm gonna call Patriots taking the dub here over the Lions, and I don't feel good about that either way. But I can definitely see Belichick finding a way to stifle that defense and just getting it done on offense. I can see like a 17-16 game here. I'm gonna go with the upset and call Patriots. Moving on to the Seahawks and the Saints. Interesting game there. As the Saints haven't looked bad of the 1-3 teams, they're arguably the best. And the Seahawks have turned a lot of heads with Geno Smith and his quarterback play, putting up 48 points last week. I'm gonna go with Seattle though.
I'm going with the Saints. Just they should be getting, even if they don't get back Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton is a more than capable backup. I would compare him to like a Teddy Bridgewater type backup. He's capable of going in there. Jarvis Landry should be back. Michael Thomas should still be out. But regardless, they have Olave, who's done really well, and they're saying Kamara is starting to look like his old self again.
Hopefully,
Injuries are away from him right now. So if he sucks, then he's washed. Which we've seen that from running backs when they get used like he has for the past 4 years. But I like their defense. Geno Smith may be a little bit too careful with the ball. I'm going.
See, my
Saints.
thing, Geno Smith has only thrown 30 incompletions all year up to this point. Rashad Penny has been very good, almost at 300 yards on the ground. Looking at Seattle, they're on a high right now. You see a lot of times in the beginning of seasons, bad teams don't know they're bad. Seattle is kind of still in that mode. They don't know they're bad. They beat the Broncos, they beat Russell Wilson in Seattle week 1, and then last week they put up an absolute show, putting up 48 points. And then everybody just got to watch how Russell Wilson looked last night. So they're on an emotional high about Russell Wilson leaving him and now Russell Wilson sucking, and how they've been able to go on and be just fine with Geno. I think they're going to continue to ride that wave. And I feel good about them going into New Orleans and beating the Saints. And then we have the Falcons, the Buccaneers. The Falcons are one of my favorite teams that no one's really talking about. They've been competitive in every single game. Mariota didn't do too great last week, and they don't have a lot of talent truly, but they were competitive against the Rams. They could be 4-0 right now if some things go just a little differently. Going into Tampa though to take on the Buccaneers, that is too tall of a task. The Buccaneers are a top 6 or so team to me. I got the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Buccaneers here as well. They looked, like you said, completely revitalized on offense with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin coming back.
Yeah.
So
they're getting healthier. They got Julio back. They got Godwin back.
Well, Julio, did he play last week?
He did, but barely played.
Okay, I think he's on a snap count.
Yeah, it's Julio. He's kind of the grandpa of the league right now. He's like Udonis Haslam.
I don't know whose hamstrings are worse, his or Kadarius Toney. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, they or I don't think probably won't because we already passed them up with the Giants. But yeah, Falcons. I like them. I think they can. I actually, the line of Tampa is at -10. I might say I like that for the Falcons because they do like if nothing else, Mariota is dynamic and can do some things. Like I've called him baby Jalen Hurts. But yeah, Buccaneers there. Titans and Commies, not a game that I really intend to spend a lot of time watching, except for when Derrick Henry's in the red zone for my fantasy team. Titans have the opportunity to go 3-2 in Washington. I'm going to go with Titans.
I'm going with the Titans.
No belief in the Commanders. Carson Wentz I was talking about how Geno has only 30 incompletions. Carson Wentz has 70 incompletions.
The thing is that they have great receivers between Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and Jahan Dotson. Completely opposite of the Titans' offense, where they have no receivers, but they have Derrick Henry. The Commanders should be getting back Brian Robinson, but they're still going to be without Chase Young for at least another week.
I chase young kids.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
That's a fantasy team name, by the way, guys.
No, it's not. I mean it. Sorry, what?
Arrest this man. Anyway, it's just, it's going to be too much for Derrick Henry Derrick Henry's going to be too much for them. Titans.
Yeah. I think that's pretty easy.
Close game, actually.
And Texans, trying to find their first win, the last 1 o'clock game. Texans trying to find their first win of the season. Last winless team as the Raiders were able to get their first victory last week, going on the road to play the Jaguars. And then, wait, what?
I'm going to say, sorry, not this week.
I think you said sir as I missed something.
No, I was gonna say sorry, not this week. Yeah, Texans, you're not winning this week.
The Jaguars can move 3-2. Trevor Lawrence has looked very good so far. 950 yards, 8 touchdowns. Christian Kirk has been a great acquisition for them. 20 catches, 327 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Damian Pierce definitely the best player for the Texans so far, but they have just nothing going for them. Lovie Smith's not a good head coach.
Lovie Smith sucks.
He was my preseason prediction to be the first coach fired. It's a toss-up between him and a few guys. We'll see. Mike McCarthy's actually looking pretty good. So
Matt Rule is not.
Rule is not. Hackett's not. But I think they stick with him.
At least Hackett has wins.
He does, and I don't know if the Texans are ever going to get one. Definitely not going to happen this week against the Chargers, who have just been very hot. Competed last week with arguably the best team in the league, the Eagles. But yeah, I got the Jaguars there.
Yeah.
Rolling into the first of only 3 4-o'clock games. That's actually very interesting that they just completely loaded that 1 o'clock slot, and there's only 3 4-o'clock games. And they're okay. 49ers Panthers first. 49. We were just talking about the 49ers lost to the Bears week 1. Lost to the Broncos. Something interesting to point out. They did lose to the Broncos, but first game was with Trey Lance. Second game was with Garoppolo. His first game being integrated back in the team. He didn't even get the playbook until Lance goes down, so it was very difficult for him to be put in that position. Baker Mayfield hasn't been looking good so far, only 750 yards. They finally got McCaffrey a little more involved, and cross fingers stays healthy. But 49ers going on the road to Carolina, I think they're going to take that pretty easily.
Pretty easily. I mean, the 49ers have one of the best defenses in the NFL, if not the best.
Yeah.
They are a little bit banged up on defense, but still.
Yeah, I just realized in our last segment, we were talking about the top tiers in the NFL. I completely forgot to put the 49ers. I think the 49ers honestly might be actually the 4th best team in the league over the Dolphins, over the Eagles. Oh yeah, no, I think they're better than us. I'm sorry. They have a better run game. They have. I might think the 49ers are better than us. Yeah.
Did you say they have a better run game?
Oh, they absolutely do. Absolutely. Okay, Mr. Eli Mitchell's a top 10 fantasy running back.
He is. But Jeff Wilson Jr. is not.
Says Eli Mitchell's a top 10 fantasy running back.
Elijah Mitchell,
don't care.
When healthy, averages between 18 and 20
That's not
points.
True.
It is true.
No, it's not.
Look at what he did last year.
Oh, my gosh.
Look at what he did last year.
Oh, my gosh. I can name you 50.
He was on pace. He was on pace. He was on pace for 25 fantasy points week 1 before he got a helmet to the knee.
On pace, Mr. Mike Trout would have had 50 home runs if he didn't get hurt. Shut up, he did, okay? Eli Mitchell gets hurt blowing his nose. He gets hurt every other
play. He took
a
helmet to the knee. That was a free. It wasn't like last year where he was out for whatever reason.
I do not care. He's not
Elijah Mitchell is a top 10 running back when healthy. If he plays a full game, he's getting you 18 to 20 points.
49ers over the Panthers.
49ers over the Panthers. They're not a top 4 team. Don't listen to this man.
They're a top 5 team. At worst, they're a top. Maybe I'll say actually.
He said over the Eagles.
No, I take that back. They're the second best team they're the second best team in the NFC. I would take them over the Bengals, the Bucks, and then between us and them, it is they have the experience in those situations of winning big games. So I don't know. Cowboys, Rams.
Did you skip the Eagles, Cardinals?
On my list, this is first. Cowboys, Rams.
Cowboys, Rams.
Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it? I'm doing it. I'm calling the Cowboys. That's the most excited I've ever been for calling a Cowboys win.
I'm not actually agree with you.
Y'all still them boys? They still them boys this week because the Rams are looking
Cooper.
absolute donkey cheeks.
So I'm not saying Cooper Rush is a better quarterback. I'm not, but they look more comfortable on offense with him at quarterback than Dak.
I want to make a.
Dak Prescott is still the better quarterback, but they look more comfortable.
I kind of hope that this is gonna sound weird. I kind of hope that the Cowboys win because I really want to talk about my concerns about the Rams and what I think is wrong with this team. And there's definitely a few things. Oh, I don't know. They can't run the ball. Their offensive line stinks. They have no weapon over the top. Jalen Ramsey hasn't looked good in the last 7 or 8 games he's played. Matt Stafford elbow issue. When is that going to become an issue, or is it already an issue? Cooper Kupp only catches passes within like 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, and he just racks up the PPR
he had
points.
14 catches for a little over 100 yards. I think he averaged like 8
and
yards
don't get me
per
wrong,
catch.
One of the best receivers in the NFL. I'm not saying it's 100%. His fault. I think it's an issue with the offense and it's an issue with Stafford. So I kind of hope that they lose just so I can make a video ranting about what's wrong with the Rams.
Micah Parsons is going to just disrupt that line. Cooper Kupp is just going to burn Diggs, but Diggs
gets a little too much hate. I will say Diggs gets a little too much hate.
I think he gets the right amount of hate.
No, he does not, because he is a do or die player, and I can respect that. He either gets the interception or he gets burnt, and I can respect like his ball skills as a corner. He has the best ball skills in the league. He was a receiver. I don't care. He has the best single best ball skills as a corner in the league. He also allows the most yards by a corner in the league last year. I get that, but you win some, you lose some, and I will take that boomer bust. Now I'm not saying he's a top 5 corner, but he is a little overrated.
Okay, getting a little too much on the subject there. So
I want to make videos on both teams. Eagles, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I will say I think Gallup and CeeDee Lamb are gonna have fairly good games because I don't think Ramsey's gonna shadow either one of them.
Gallup's
I think it really just
3 catches for like 6 yards. I don't want to hear it. Gallup's not good.
This guy's a Gallup hater.
I am because
I don't even have Gallup on my team anymore.
Bro, he's done nothing in his career so far. Nothing.
You're whack.
He's done nothing in his career so far.
He's been the 4th string receiver on that team.
That's not an excuse. He's done nothing.
He's going to have the role that CeeDee Lamb had last year. CeeDee Lamb last year.
Did Noah Brown die?
Noah Brown isn't that good.
He's better than Gallup.
Are you kidding me?
He's better than Gallup for
sure.
Bro,
you're on. No.
Gallup's done nothing in his career. He's done Corey Davis, we say he's done nothing. Corey Davis has had a 1,000-yard season.
Corey Davis is also the number 1 option at one point.
And Gallup could have been the number 2 option coming into this year, and now he's no longer even that.
He's going to be the number 2 option. They didn't even play him 50% of the snaps last week.
He's not good. Eagles, Cardinals. Eagles have a chance to go 5-0 going into Arizona. Cardinals are so weird. They are a tale of 2 halves. First half, the Cardinals are the worst team in the league. Second half, Cardinals, top 5 team in the league. They just find a way to get it done. Kyler Murray's a playmaker, if nothing else. Hollywood Brown has had a stinky good season up to this point.
He still sucks.
But I don't think he does. You look at his stats this year, he's not dropping passes. He's making plays. He's had a few touchdowns. I think imagine where this team would be without him right now. They might have no wins right now without Hollywood Brown.
Fair.
But Eagles.
Eagles, they're just gonna the Cardinals defense has been abysmal all year. Budda Baker hasn't looked the same since that neck injury.
They're a team of 2 halves, and the Eagles, if nothing else, are consistent. They don't really turn the ball over that much. They had an interception last week. It was a fluky play. It's raining. It hits the dude off the chest, bounces up in the air. They pick 6 it. They're consistent. They have a top 5 or so defense. Jalen Hurts has been one of the best players in the league so far, top 2 or 3 player in terms of MVP voting. You have Lamar, you have Mahomes, you have him, all in the same conversation. I think the 72 Dolphins wait another week or 2 before they pop the champagne win on their one undefeated season, which I still could not care less at the 72 Dolphins, a team that went undefeated when our parents were like 5 years old. I could not care less about that team. I'm sorry. I do not care. We do not care.
I care.
We do not care.
I care.
We weren't alive. We weren't even sperms
I don't
yet.
care.
We weren't even. Our parents hadn't hit puberty when that happened.
I don't care.
Most of them are dead.
I don't care.
Most of them are dead, bro.
You support your team no matter what.
That's-
that means you support their records. That means the only people that can beat their records are this team.
I'm sick of hearing Dolphins fans cling on, oh, we were the only undefeated team ever. Who cares? Half of the fan base wasn't alive. With that being said, Ravens and Bengals for the Sunday night matchup.
You're not going to go against the Ravens, but
of course I'm not. I'm absolutely not.
I will.
We are not allowed to be unbiased on this show. All right. Have we sat here one time? Actually, last week on this show, I think I did predict the Bengals were going to win.
No, you said it was set up for. You didn't.
No, we didn't do a preview actually.
Oh,
we didn't. It was a Thursday night game. We didn't do a preview.
Yeah.
But to all my friends, we were at Buffalo Wild Wings. I said we were going to lose.
No, you did not say we were going to lose.
Yes, I did.
You said.
Yes, I did.
No.
Yes, I did.
You said everything is set up for us.
Remember, we went around the table. We did.
You said it's the perfect scenario for us to lose.
Donovan, I did say that, but remember, we went around the table and gave our score predictions. I said 27-20. Remember that? Yeah, now you remember that. Because I remember I was talking at the end of the game. I was like, the Dolphins need a safety and a field goal.
I should have kicked him in the nuts when Tua got hurt.
You were thinking of fantasy.
I was not.
Yeah, when T. Higgins and Joe Mixon scored, you're like, just like hey, I thought I should do that to you. Bengals Ravens. I'm not being unbiased. Lamar Jackson is in fact him.
Lamar Jackson is him,
and I got the Ravens here.
I'm gonna just take the Bengals. Just take the Bengals.
For you. Joe Burrow sucks. He's not as good as Justin Herbert. Can we admit that now?
No.
He's not as good as Justin Herbert.
Joe Burrow is more clutch in the fourth quarter, therefore he's better.
No.
Yes. Anyways,
Herbert's more athletic, better arm, and he's in one of the worst offenses in the league in terms of not in terms of personnel, in terms of play calling.
Anyways, the Bengals have a good defensive line. I think that they'll be able to not really shut down Dobbins, but not let him explode either. They've done really well against the run this year. Passing wise, the only real weapon you have to worry about is Mark Andrews.
The Ravens passing offense has been better than the Bengals passing offense. Bengals passing offense, looking at the game through 3.5 quarters last week against a beat up Dolphins secondary, had nothing going for it. They had to have a trick play where Tyler Boyd passes it to what's his face, Chase.
That's because the Dolphins once again were able to only rush. Their offensive line is horrible.
I think the Ravens.
I think this is gonna be a defensive game. It's really gonna come down to quarterbacks. It's gonna come down to.
I think it's gonna come down to running the ball, and I think the Ravens are one of the best rushing teams in the league. I'm gonna be able to control the clock. I think it's gonna be a relatively low scoring game. I'm gonna go like 2017 with the Ravens, but I can see Lamar Jackson, this Ravens rushing offense, really controlling the clock here and allowing my bias to come true.
You see, I'm gonna go ahead and call 23-14 because the Ravens don't like to kick field goals.
But can we agree that also unbiased that Mark Andrews is gonna score every single touchdown?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just wanted to clarify that. Wrapping it up, Monday Night Football could be good. We're not.
Oh, come on.
Not sure.
No. Come on. Come on. They're in Kansas City.
Yeah.
They made Tampa Bay look like it was their home stadium.
Yeah.
They're in Kansas. This is going to be the Chiefs in a blowout. It's not even going to be close. Start Devontae Adams, though, because he's going to go off for like 15 catches, 200 yards, but he's not going to have any touchdowns.
I tried trading for Devontae Adams from Chris. Didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to haul.
I offered Olave and Sutton.
He doesn't value those guys, though.
How do you know?
Because he doesn't know those names.
Okay, come on. He's not that much of a casual. He's not Nehemiah.
He's not that much. I'll give him that, but he
is a Cowboys fan, but they're all casuals.
But he doesn't know like Olave like that. Like,
I mean, all you have to do is click on his name and see. I think he's like wide receiver 17 or something.
Yeah, but it's
I spilled water on myself.
He wants a running back, especially since
Well, okay, yeah. So Chiefs Raiders, they're wrapping up the Week 5 slate of things.